Hey y'all. Welcome.
To Sister2Sister.
It needed to be said.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. We're asking that you come on in. When you get in, click like, share, make sure you subscribe, click that subscribe button. I need you to subscribe to this channel, okay? Because it's what's up. It's lit. We here, we ready. Welcome to the first episode of
It needed to be said.
That's right.
It needed to be said.
We're doing what it needs to do. We're here saying what needs to be said. We are so excited. We are so grateful for this opportunity. Myself, I am personally grateful for this opportunity, especially to be sharing this with my sister and Jean. We just realized that there are so many podcasts out there, and people are talking about things that need to be talked about, and we came to a decision that, hey, we have a lot to say.
Yes.
And we have a lot to say that matters, right?
Yes.
And we are women who care about our community, we care about our people, and we believe in telling the truth. We believe in being transparent, and we believe in being real and raw. And so that's
what it is, real and raw. You know what? When we came up with this podcast, it was actually a conversation that Jamaro and myself was having. And I was like, girl, we need to go on air with this. Let's make this happen. And she was like, yeah. So here you have it. You have two women in your community ready to lend their ear to what you have to say. So you can call in. You can put your comments in. We'll talk to you. You're going to get feedback. And we already know that everybody is not going to agree with what we have to say.
That's right.
But that's the part about being a grown-ass woman. You own what you say.
That's right. And that's the part about being she, me, her. I say what I say.
So now y'all understand why the linkage happened.
Exactly. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get started. If you want to call in throughout the period of the dialogue, you can call 954-892-0587.
A little slower.
954-892-0587. 954-892-0587. 954-892-0587. You can call in if you have a comment, if there's something that you want to dialogue about. We're here, and like Jean said, we get it and we understand. Everybody is not going to agree with our point of view. Everybody is not going to agree with what we have to say, but that's okay. It's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to disrespect. So while we disagree with each other, we're still going to remain respectful.
Because we real grown.
Because we grown women, we grown folks, right? So hello, I am she, me, her, aka Jamar Tara, aka Jamar Johnson, aka CEO, owner of She, Me, Her. This is me, and this is my sister.
I'm Jean Keenan, and I am a grown-ass woman, and I wear it proudly because I own that shit.
I love her.
It's a real business. But on the real tip, both of us wear different hats. We're not in one compartment. You're introduced to her business. You're being introduced to my business. But at the end of the day, we're showing you that together as women, we can collaborate, have an understanding, and a good conversation.
That's right.
So here we are.
Right. And we're talking about things that matter. We're not just talking to be talking.
Yeah, nah.
We're talking about things that matter. But before we move on, we have got to give a shout out to our sponsors. We want to give a shout out to the Flight Center. The Flight Center really showed up for us and provided us with the venue and location. And we also want to give a shout out to Starbucks. Starbucks is sponsoring all of our beverages and all of our food. And this is the community Starbucks in Fort Lauderdale.
Make sure, urban.
That's right.
It's one of the first urban Starbucks in Broward.
Exactly. There's 3 in the state of Florida.
Yes.
So there's one in Tampa, one in Miami, and then one in Fort Lauderdale. So we are the community store in Fort Lauderdale on Broward and 29th are our sponsors, our beverage sponsors and our food sponsors. Mahogany, who is the manager for the community Starbucks on Broward and 29th, is the bomb diggity. Yes. I mean, the store, she's running the store. to the respect that it's extremely welcoming for
Yes.
us, for people that look like us.
Black and brown people
right.
that love Starbucks.
So if you're black and you like Starbucks, go to the Starbucks on Broward the 29th. And she has an amazing group of young people working in that store. And I'm telling y'all, it's a vibe in there. You go in there, you might hear Lil on the speaker. You know what I'm saying? You might hear Anthony Hamilton on the speaker.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? While you waiting for your...
Just don't do the electric slide while you wait.
Yeah.
But you can bust a move if you want to.
Yeah, so shout out to Starbucks. We appreciate you. Also, we want to give a huge shout out to our tech guy, our sound guy, our light guy, our picture guy, Dane Bell from Dane B Photography. I'm telling you, he's behind the scenes. Y'all don't see him, but he is behind the scenes making it happen for us. I'm telling y'all, listen, it helps to have a tribe.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
A good tribe. And that's what we're trying to create amongst us women.
That's right.
So we can have this conversation and engage with one another.
Right. Yeah. And be able to hold each other accountable, but in love. In love. Be able to hold each other accountable in love. So we're coming tonight, and we're going to be, this is the first of many podcast episodes. We're going to be coming to you every fourth Thursday, every fourth Thursday of the month, every fourth Thursday of each month. So just, put it on your calendar. Get ready, get prepared for the real, the transparent, and the raw. Sister2Sister, hashtag it needed to be said.
And have your friends also go and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Subscribe to She, Me, Her.
She, Me, Her. Have them subscribe. We're getting our numbers up so that we can bring you good content every month. And if it gets where we need to be here 2 times, we here twice a month. We just trying to get there, and we can't do it without our sisters. That's right. So we need you
and the brothers,
because we want them on here too.
We need y'all, right? Because listen, I'm telling you, the sisters need the brothers, and the brothers need the sisters. We need each other to survive. So click subscribe to the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. Let's get my subscribers up so we can get out here and give you guys more content. But tonight we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into it. So we're going to talk about something that probably a lot of y'all tired of talking about. But you don't want to hear about it. You're going to get offended. Yada, 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 whatever. But that's fine. Yeah. You can do that. But we're still going to talk about it.
That's why.
We're still going to talk about it. So tonight we're going to be talking about
R. Kelly. I know I'm saying it like that. I had to do it like that. And the reason, I got so many other reasons I'm bringing this up, but we're going to dive into it and get to the point of where we're going with this whole conversation. Because a lot of y'all saw it play out on TV. A lot of y'all read it in the blogs and different things like that. And y'all formed that,
But they don't know what you know.
Right. So let's go. Let's go. Tell us some stuff, Jamara.
Let's get into it. Okay, so let's get into like a timeline here. Okay. So anybody that knows me know I'm a researcher. I'm gonna do my research. So we're gonna start with 1994 when he was 27 and he married Aaliyah when she was 15. Okay. Then we're gonna go to 1996 where he was sued by a young lady for emotional distress because he was stalking her. She was like 15 years old. Then he was sued by an intern in 2001 for sexually stalking her. Then in April of 2002, he got a young lady pregnant, forced her to have an abortion. Also filmed her without her knowing, and the sex tape was circulated. Okay, and then in 2002, there was some allegations over some child abuse videos that went out. Then from 2002, 2004, there were some more allegations that came out about childhood sexual abuse, childhood sexual images. Then there were some accusations where he had given 2 young ladies herpes. And they, went after him for that, saying that he knowingly had this disease and he gave it to them knowing he had it. And then in 2017, y'all remember that's when the allegations came out about the cult. When they said he was holding the women in his house and all of this stuff, And then in 2018, that's when the Geronda Pace case broke out, and she was talking about having sex with him, and he knew she was underage. But he didn't care, of course, we know that. 2018 is when the whole hashtag Mute R. Kelly came on the scene, yada, yada, yada. 2019 was the infamous Surviving R. Kelly. That's when he hit the scene. And that's when we really found out. I'm not going to speak. I'm going to speak for me. I'm not going to speak for everybody. I'm speaking for me. Because that's when I really found out who people really are. When that documentary hit.
That's when it got serious. I'm going to say that.
I'm talking about people I knew.
Oh. Well, we're going to get to that.
I'm talking about people I knew. That's when I found out, like, who are you? Who raised y'all?
Who raised? Yeah. All right, ball greaser. Who raised
y'all? That's when I found out who people really were. You know what I'm saying? And so then you have videos of him having sex with a 14-year-old girl. Then you had 11 sexual assault charges filed against him, where he had had sex with minors between the age of 13 and 16 years old. Then they came back with some sex trafficking charges. Then they came back with soliciting, where he had a young lady who was 17 asked him for an autograph. She asked him for an autograph, and he told her to come to his hotel room, and if she wanted an autograph, she had to give him some sex, right? In August 2021, the relationship between R. Kelly and Aaliyah was actually confirmed in court in August of 2021. And it was a pre-trial hearing where they were questioning one of the lawyers that worked for Aaliyah. They were questioning one of her attorneys, and they asked the attorney whether they denied the star had sexual relations with Aaliyah while she was underage, right? And so the lawyer was like, he could not deny that. So it was confirmed in August in 2021 that he was actually having a sexual relationship with Aaliyah while she was 15 years old. And then we're going to September 2021, where he was found guilty on just some of everything. Just some of everything. And then June 2022, they sentenced him to 30 years in prison, and y'all for sexually abusing children and women, and y'all lost y'all mind.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I did lose my mind about the whole thing. I did. I lost my mind because I was looking at the artist. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And being a fan of his music back then, because that was my era. I'm 52 years old, so, you know, back then was my era, and I was a fan. But let me tell you something. When the allegations started coming out, it shifted something inside of me.
Really?
Yes, it did. It shifted something inside of me. And then when that airing of the Netflix Surviving R. Kelly hit, I was like, this is for real, because I wasn't up on all of the all the things he had been through in his life until that point. Then I started researching and wanting to know. And getting to know all of that, I was appalled. I was devastated. I was like, this was for real. And it made me think about in our own communities, but I'm not going to go there.
Why?
How we go ahead and sugarcoat stuff and keep it on the back burner.
Why?
Girl.
Why?
Look at R. Kelly. R. Kelly being a celebrity artist. He has a title. He has money. He has all of his status and this and that and that. And you still had people, even when the proof was provided, the proof, they still denied that this man did not do what they saying he did. Now coming back to the community. Y'all be sitting around here looking at these people, knowing what they're doing, and y'all still would sit back and not say anything. These are children. You know what I'm saying? These and some of the parents.
Yeah, because that's coming. That's coming. Well, what about the parents? And what about the people that helped? And what about the people that helped facilitate it? And what about, and what about, and what about, and what about, and what about? Okay, yeah. We are not in any means saying that any and everybody that had anything to do with the sexual abuse or exploitation of any of R. Kelly victims should not be held accountable. That is not what we're saying. But my question is, are you saying that because they're not being held accountable, he shouldn't be held accountable?
Girl,
that's my question to you.
And they can't answer that. They can't answer that.
Well, I wish somebody would.
Because you know what I noticed? Everybody has an opinion about what's going on with this situation because, one, they don't understand what trauma those victims actually went through. They seem to think that it's hearsay. You know what I'm saying? Or they made it up. They would not convict this man. And I know sometimes the law, you know, but they had a whole court case. I mean, a trial. Evidence.
Yeah. And when you're talking about court cases and you're talking about trials and you're talking about victims and you're talking about witnesses, you have to remember when you have a group of people that are saying the group of people that have no affiliations with each other, that are saying the same thing, that are describing the same experience. They have no affiliation with each other. They don't know each other, but they're describing the same experience, okay? Something in the milk, something in the water. What does it say? Ain't clean.
You're right.
Something is. Listen, it goes back to the saying: if you are having the same problem with different people, then you are the problem.
Exactly.
Right. So you have all of these different people.
Right.
All of these different people
from all over the world.
Because every city he went to, he hit, right?
And what she mean by he hit, meaning he picked up a young child.
Right.
Of any sex, male or female.
Right. So listen, let me tell you, I need to give y'all this phone number again. If you want to call in, if you have a comment, even if you don't agree with us, that's fine. That's not going to change. That's not going to change our feelings or our opinions at all. But you have a right to your opinion, and you have a right to say what you have to say. It's 954-892-0587. 954-892-0587. We would love to hear from you. Go ahead and call in. So let me just help y'all out a little bit.
Go ahead, girl.
So I did some more research and some more digging. I was able to find some of the testimony from some of the victims.
Whew, I need this right here. I gotta fan myself because I'm about to scream.
I was able to find some of the testimony that was given in reference, that some of the victims had gave about Robert Sylvester Kelly, aka R. Kelly,
who is now a registered sex offender.
Right. So what I did not know, I wasn't aware of, that it wasn't just women who testified in his trial. There were also men who testified in the trial that he had also sexually abused and assaulted, which I found out in my research. So, it says that of the 11 women and men, some whom, of course, cannot be publicly identified, they describe R. Kelly when they were underage. They described having sex with him while they were underage. They were all underage. They described him as being controlling, angry, and violent, right? And also, these 11 people, men and women, young men and young boys and girls, young boys and girls, because they were all underage. These 11 young boys and girls also stated that he required them to call him daddy. Right? One girl says that they were forced to write letters of blackmail, including false confessions that could later be used against them. Just
regular stuff that
predatory behavior. One witness stated that, and she was listed as Jane Doe number 5, testified that he repeatedly abused her over the course of a 5-year relationship, which began when she was 17 years old. He knew she wanted to be an inspiring singer. There was another witness that testified, another young lady, I'm sorry, victim that testified that, as I stated earlier, that he gave her herpes at 17. And that when she confronted him about giving her herpes, he got agitated with her and told her that she could have gotten that from any place. And she explained to him that he was the only person that she had, ever been intimate with.
So she was a virgin.
And she also stated that he would continue to have sex with her to the point where when it became impossible for her to have sex because she was in so much pain, he complained and it told her that her body was broken. There was another young girl who said that he also infected her with herpes, and that he actually paid her $200,000 in the settlement not to disclose it. There was another young girl who said that he was very controlling. He tried to control every aspect of her daily life, and he would chastise her every 2 to 3 days for the smallest things, and he would call disobedience, right? Oh, wow. So he said that he would spank her so hard that it would leave bruises, and sometimes her skin would tear. And she said she would be chastised nearly every 2 to 3 days. Another young girl testified that one time he assaulted her with a size 12 Air Force One tennis shoe after discovering that she had texted a friend about him. She stated that he hit me all over and I was running from him and fighting back, right? Another young lady said that, I stated this earlier, that he pressured her to have an unwanted abortion after he impregnated her. One of his assistants drove her to the clinic, right? And he also forced her to record demeaning videos of herself as punishment, including smearing feces all over herself. Girl. And she stated that he threatened to make her do it over and over again because she wasn't into it enough. Another young girl stated that he made videos of her being sexual and seductive with bodily fluids. Yeah. Geronda Pace, who we all saw on the documentary, she said that Kelly would like for her to put her hair up in pigtails and dress up like a Girl Scout, right? And then he would take videos and make videos of their sexual encounters. She would have to, of course, ask permission to use the toilet. If she was on his good side, he would grant her permission to use the toilet. She said, but when she was on his bad side, she would be forced to wait up to 3 days before she could use the bathroom. Some other victims stated, and these are young men that he violated. So there was one young man who testified that he was 17 years old. He was working the night shift at McDonald's. R. Kelly came into the McDonald's, slipped him his phone number, invited him to his house, saying that he could record music. He would allow him to use his studio to record music. And he said, of course, he went. Why wouldn't he? He's a kid. He wants to be in the music industry. Yes. R. Kelly comes in, give you his phone number, tell you that is not absurd. That is not unreasonable, people. Right. Okay, so cut the crap, right? So he gets there. He gets to the studio. Then he says, R. Kelly asked him, what are you willing to do for the music? What are you willing to do for music? And he said that R. Kelly performed oral sex on him while he was underage and told him that you need to keep this between us. We family now, we brothers. There was another young man that he had a sexual relationship with. And then what R. Kelly would do, according to his testimony, that he would then go on to procure young women for him to have sex with. Him being the young man, R. Kelly would watch the sexual encounters and filmed them while masturbating. He said that the women that R. Kelly made him have sex with they were zombie-like women. They were like zombies. And he was forbidden to speak with them outside of the sexual encounters, and he never even really knew any of their names. So yeah, this is the dude that y'all saying 30 years is
too long. As when we talk like that, we need to think about these victims before we open our mouth and make a comment of that nature. Because 30 years can't even give those victims back any of the stuff they went through. Just think about just imagine the mental state of being for the young boys and the young girls that had endured, whether it was physical, verbal, and then emotional, and the ones that got the disease on top of that. That's a lifetime.
So how do you so this is affecting their adult life and their adult relationships, right?
Yes.
Exactly. And so for people to be saying 30 years is too long, right? When you have people that have been subjected and endured some of the most horrific things that a human should have to endure. They're walking with this for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
Right? Especially the ones that have been on television. Yes. The ones that we know about, right? Yes. So trying to navigate your life through that and after that, and the process is that it's not impossible, but it's like damn near.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when you have a society out here that is protecting and defending the purpose. Let me tell y'all something. The reason y'all kids not telling y'all people touching on them is because they hear y'all defending R. Kelly.
Say it again, Jamara. It's the truth.
That's why they're not telling y'all such and such touching them inappropriately, such and such making them feel uncomfortable. This person doing this person doing that. You know why? Because they hear you defending R. Kelly.
They hear your conversation.
You're defending R. Kelly.
Yes.
Who you don't know, who you don't personally know. Imagine how you're going to defend the person that's in your family or that you know or that you sleeping with.
They ain't.
Right? Like you exactly. So you're going to defend them. You're defending R. Kelly and you don't even know R. Kelly.
You don't even know R. Kelly, but then so many of our in our community, I'm gonna just say it like that. So many in our community are traumatized because they have to sit next to or be in the room with or still engage as family with the perpetrator that has ruined their lives. And those same persons have went to you probably and had a conversation about what happened to them, and you shunned them. You told them they were lying. You told them to shut up and, swept it under the rug. But then when your homegirls or your guy friends come over, y'all sitting around, y'all playing R. Kelly music, thumping and bumping and having this conversation like they need to let him out. I understand there's a difference between the gift that he has.
Right. Because he is gifted. But
he is
gifts
gifted.
Come without repentance. That's what the word says. But we ain't going there. But go ahead.
I know because of the gift he had, but this is let me back up. This is one thing that we keep doing wrong as a culture. We can't separate the gift in the person.
Right.
We can't separate the title in the person.
Right.
We want to make everything one. And if they got a title, if they have a gift, if they done gave you some money or whatever the case.
Or they paying your rent.
They okay. They good. You'll get over what you done been through. No. We have to become aware and more engaged with our children so that we can understand when these, I was going to say family-friendly predators, but I'm not going to say that. When these familiar predators come around, I don't care if they got a doctor name, doctor in front of their name, or they can sing and croon the crowd like R. Kelly. I don't care about all that. What bothers me the most about this whole R. Kelly thing is everybody that had been around R. Kelly from way back then everybody who were in the communities that he visited, because Chicago, they had him on a list, like, you know, everybody knew.
Right.
The van, the bus is going to be outside the school.
Right, right.
You know, and y'all ain't do shit. All these children.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a mosquito in here.
And
all these children had to get harmed because nobody wanted to confront him because he was a millionaire or whatever. He was R. Kelly. He made this music. But what about Uncle Jack or Uncle Tom or Uncle Bob or Uncle whoever, cousin? Y'all still ain't saying nothing and they ain't got no money.
Well, this is what I found. This is what I have come to realize in some instances. You know, going back to what you said about they don't say anything and they know and don't do anything. A lot of times it's because you have parents, you have mothers, you have fathers, you have aunts, you have grandmothers, you have uncles who don't say anything, that sit in silence because the same thing happened to them.
I get it.
Right? And nobody helped them and nobody spoke up for them. And because they're existing now, they think that they're okay. But I have an announcement. If you are okay with a child being violated and you feel like it's okay for you to be silent because it happened to you and you're okay, you're not okay. You're not okay. You're not okay. You think you're okay, but you're not okay because nobody is okay when a child is being violated. Any person that says that they're okay with that, they're not okay. Something is wrong. And so I have encountered many humans who I've had to have this conversation with because in the conversation, it disclosed that, okay, well, it happened to me and I survived and well, okay. Yeah, you survived, right? But you're not okay.
Right. You're just existing.
You're not okay, right? And so that's why it's so important. Listen, you know, what do y'all want the children to do? When the boogeyman is not under the bed, he's not in the closet, but he's sitting at the dining room table. What do y'all want the children to do? What do y'all want the children to do? You know, we as a society want our children to be children when it's convenient for us, and we want them to be adults when it's convenient for us. And it don't work that way.
And it's wrong.
It's wrong.
Parenting all wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. And I heard something today. I was listening to a message today sent to me by Reuben Holloman. If he's watching, that message, that Bible study, I mean, it blessed my whole life. But he said, just because you have trauma and just because you are bleeding, that does not give you the right to wound your children.
Oh, you need to post that.
That thing hit me like I was listening to it while I was doing my face, my eyebrow, and I said, well, good God all day.
That's good. That is a good one. You got to post that one so I can reshare it. Reuben, thank you.
I mean, he taught that thing so good.
Wow. Say it again, just in case they
just because you are out here bleeding does not give you the right to wound your children, right? You're bleeding on to your kids, right? And you're out here bleeding on people that didn't cut you. Ooh. You're bleeding on people that didn't cut you, right? And so what you're doing is you're just spreading it. You're spreading it everywhere, and nobody is getting healed. Nobody is getting healed. And everybody is broken, getting into relationships broken, making babies broken, having babies broken. Getting raised broken. They getting in relationships broken. They having babies broken. And it becomes a continual cycle, right? It becomes. But when are we as a community? When are we as a people? When are we as a culture going to stand up and say, stop? No more. We are not going to allow this. anymore. Frederick Douglass said, "It is better to build strong children than to repair broken men."
Yes.
And we have so men and women out here that are broken because nobody had the sense enough, or nobody had the strength to help them build them strong.
And while you're talking, I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, as how you broke it down as a community, as a culture, it goes back to for me hearing this. I'm saying, well, when do we start correcting and becoming accountable as a culture, as a community, as a family? Somewhere along the line, conversations such as these need to be happening, that for those that don't know can get readjusted and realigned and get a chance at trying to do better by those children. Because when you leave children in a vulnerable state, that makes them open and subjective to the R. Kellys in our community.
Right.
So we got to kind of fix this wheel so it can turn.
Yeah.
We can talk about R. Kelly all day. R. Kelly is a blueprint to what's happening every day in our community.
Right. And he is a product of his community.
Yes.
Not protecting him. Because listen, at the end of the day, I am not going to sit here and dismiss the fact that he was also abused as a child
by his sister, right?
Yes, he was abused. So he learned intimacy in a very unhealthy way at a very early age. And Gina and I see that all the time, where you have children, when they are violated young, they grow up and what they do is they correlate sex with love. So if I love you, I'm going to please you sexually. I'm going to do whatever you want sexually, because as a young child, they are being sexually violated by somebody that they love and that they think loves them.
So let me turn that to now. You may know someone that is considered a grown up. They're over the age of 18. And you may see their actions and they're identifying that, sex is love. Every time you turn around, they end something new. That should give you an inkling to say, come here, sister.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you.
Tap
the sister on the shoulder.
Tap.
So, to engage in that conversation, because we don't want to keep having the same conversation over and over. We don't want to be one. Our children to be one of the ones that some type of R. Kelly from our community get a hold of.
Right.
We want to change the way you view what has happened. These people we're talking about, none of us know them. We don't know them at all. But when it happens in your family and in your community, you know them.
Yeah.
But you don't want to talk about that. So let's change the way we look at this and start having conversations with our children. If it's us as adults that we've been traumatized or had some type of trauma from sexual trauma as a child, go seek and have a conversation with someone that can help you get yourself on track. Because when a child that has been sexually abused, not all of them turn into be perpetrators or predators.
A small percentage does.
Small percentage. However, it takes the other percentage down a very dark road that could possibly lead them also in that direction, looking for sexual favors and sexual for whatever reason.
Right.
So I want you all to pay attention. R. Kelly, stop looking at the subject at hand and look at the problem. This is not just a problem that happened only with an R. Kelly. Nowadays, every time you turn on that news, on the news, in whatever state you live in, something is going to pop up about someone being a sexual predator or someone touching a child. It's enough already. I wish I could sing. If I could sing like R. Kelly, I'd be singing to you all, telling y'all, hey. But I can't sing. All I could do is talk. And with this talking, I'm giving y'all some nuggets that it's some way we can make a difference. We got to change the way we are interacting in our community about stuff we hear and stuff we see. All those people who saw R. Kelly, heard the comments, seen the buzz, and did nothing. Just like, in your community, in your family. But then when it all hit the fan, y'all want to pick sides.
Yeah. What's with that, though? What's with the picking sides? Like, what's that about?
That's us.
Why are we like this?
I don't know. It pissed me off because if one say we on this side, the other one gonna say, and it's gonna be, it's a constant challenge of who's right and who's wrong, who's better, who's not.
You know what my favorite is not my favorite, but I'm being sarcastic, is when you have the child that does tell, and then you have the adult that says, well, they were flirting or they were seducing. Like, how does a child seduce an adult? Like, how does a child seduce an adult? Like, I don't get that. I need somebody to explain it to me. Again, if y'all have any comments, please call 954-892-0587.
Call in. Let's 954-892-0587.
954-892-0587. How does that work? How does a child seduce an adult?
I see some comments up there. I can't read that part.
How does a child seduce an adult? I'm trying to figure that out. Like, I don't know how that works. I'm trying to figure out how that works.
Well, in my mind, it processes as that adult is not really living as their age says they are. Even though you have some grown women, some grown men, mentally or, internally, they still that little girl or damaged little boy. And they think that they're relating to someone on their level because that's the age that they probably had trauma themselves.
Well, I see it differently. I see it from the point where they're just sick.
They're sick.
Because my thing is this. I think that's an excuse, that's a cop-out, where you say, oh, well, she seduced him and she was flirting with him. I tell people, I say this all the time. I don't care what behavior the child was displaying.
Which is true.
You as an adult, if you are in your conscious, right, sane mind, you are not going to be responding.
You're not going to interact with that child.
And responding and interact with that, right?
Right.
So there's that. But then on the other end, I get really pissed off because you have people that'll say, well, they knew what they were doing. They knew what was going to happen. Why did they do this? Why did they do that? Or even going back to talking about the survivors, where you had a lot of victim blaming and victim shaming, where you had, oh, they knew that was going to happen. Why did they stay there? If they knew, if he was doing all this stuff to them, why did they stay there? And so I pose this question to many of you who are on here, who are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, with jobs, with mortgages, with life insurance, with car payments, or might have the title to your car, but just out here being grown, right? And you ask the question, well, how could they stay and how could they do this and why didn't they see the signs and why didn't they see what's going on? How many of y'all in y'all 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s on here been lied to, been cheated on, been physically abused, been verbally abused with your man? He got 5 kids. Y'all been together 5 years. He got 5 kids and don't none of them belong to you, but y'all still together, right? So the same question that you are opposing to these children, it is time out.
Yes.
For adults to stop holding children accountable
for adult stuff,
for the behavior of grown ass people. And then you have the audacity to try to hold children accountable for stuff that you still yourself are stuck in.
That's the point I was making. Exactly.
So the situation could be, okay, well, they stayed there because, they wanted to be there. Okay, well, why you still with the dude you've been with for 7 years? He got 7 kids and don't belong to you. Why you still there? Right? I'm sure because I need to make it make sense.
I love that when you said make it make sense.
Make this make sense for me because y'all forget how. But see, I realize that when you can deflect on other people,
yes,
then it helps you prevent to it keeps you from thinking about how jacked up you are. Yeah. So when you can deflect because you feel like, oh, here, well, I thought my situation was bad, but they worse than me. You know what I'm saying? So you'll deflect, right? And forget that you over here, you almost a sister wife over here. You almost a sister wife.
Yes.
Right? Almost. You know what I'm saying? So it's like time out. We got 15 minutes left. If you guys have any questions, you have any comments, please call in 954-892-0857. So I can't see the comments. I wish I could see the comments. I don't know what the comments are. But I really want to see the comments. Want to see the comments.
And I can't see that far.
But so let me just say this, and moving forward, with our podcast and what we're going to be talking about, we're not just going to be coming to you talking about sexual abuse and sexual molestation and things like that. We're talking about everything. We're going to be talking about racial bias. We're going to be talking about gentrification. We're going to be talking about dating outside of your race. Everything. We're going to be talking about all of these things. We're going to be talking about
the
black women in their hair. We're going to be talking about the church. We're going to be talking about why it's so hard for black women to be friends with each other. Like, what is wrong with us, right?
Yes.
I want to do white people protect their predators in their community like we do? I can't because I'm not white. I'm black, so I can't speak to that.
I can't speak to it either. But if maybe we'll bring it back again and ask that question.
Because I don't know. I'm just because it just baffles me.
I don't know.
It really baffles me. And so anyway, so we want to thank you all for joining in. We appreciate each and every one of you. Listen, if you have not clicked subscribe, I want you to stop what you're doing right now and click subscribe to She, Me, Her.
And I want to say one thing as well.
No, we got time.
If you're interested in being a guest on our set, or you would like to sponsor our set, thank you, Starbucks. Thank you, Flight Center. If you would like to sponsor, it's open opportunity. We also have where you can come on to the actual, you could be on the, what is it called? The feed. And you can also join us that way. Just DM us. You can DM She, Me, Her. You can DM Jamaro, or you can DM me, Anjean Keenan. I'm Anjean Moss on I'm Anjean.
Dang, girl.
I ain't changed my name. I'm Anjean Moss on social media. But DM us and tell us you're interested in coming on and having a dialogue with us and being a part of our cast for the day, and we'll make it worth your while to be on Sister2Sister.
Right.
It needs to be said. Now we operate in authenticity, transparency, and 100% real. Here we are.
Yeah. And so one thing that we do also want to put out there, I really want to talk about Black-owned businesses and our lack of customer service. Because everybody want to have a business, but don't know how to do
business. No. Oh, girl. That's going to be a good one.
Everybody want to have a business, but y'all don't know how to do business.
Ooh, that's going to be good. I got somebody I'm going to reach out to and see if they'll come on for that one.
Yeah. I mean, because our customer service, and my thing is, Y'all, if you want, you business owners out there, you entrepreneurs, you black entrepreneurs, you business owners out there, y'all don't treat white people like y'all treat us. Y'all wouldn't dare come at your white customers the way you come at your black customers. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Yeah. Because when it comes to that almighty dollar, for some, and I know it's
the same dollar that they be quiet about the perpetrators.
Right, but it's an inherent thought process that we have as black people, where we feel that although it's the same money, we feel that white people money is better than black people money. Yeah. And yeah, y'all do. Money. Y'all do. Y'all do. Different. Y'all treat people. I'm talking to black-owned businesses. Say it again. Black-owned businesses. I'm talking to black-owned businesses. We are going to do a whole segment on y'all and y'all lack of customer service.
Exactly. But you can also go over to Starbucks, the first urban Starbucks on Broward Boulevard, yes, which is majority black,
like us.
Yeah, they black and brown people like in there serving in the black and brown community. Everybody, they're serving everybody, and the customer service is on point.
On point, impeccable. Yes. Some of the most amazing young black and brown people behind the counter. Mahogany, who is the manager of that store, Broward and 29th, who is absolutely amazing. You all need to go sit in there. If you are an entrepreneur, yeah, go if you have a business where you have to interact with the public, where you have to interact with consumers, where you have to dialogue with consumers, just go sit in that Starbucks and watch how they operate.
And what's amazing about it is the young adults that are working in there are all from the surrounding community.
Yes.
They're all
amazing young people. Amazing young people.
Thank you all for tuning in to Sister to Sister. And we're going to talk. Jamara is going to share something and lead us out.
Yeah. So before we leave, and this is going to occur at the end of every episode, I'm going to be leaving out with a nugget. So, okay. Right. So this is the nugget for today. All right. And I wrote this. So the majority of what I'm going to be coming to you with, more than likely, I'm going to be the author of it. I love quotes, so sometimes it's going to be quotes from different people, but this is mine. So I wrote, "It is so easy to lose your identity to and in your tragedy and trauma. You will start to call yourself by your tragedy and trauma. Then you begin to answer when someone calls you by your tragedy and your trauma. This makes it hard to move on, hard to heal. And once you name yourself your trauma, when it calls you, you will answer. You will begin to identify with all the bad and ugly stuff that's happened to you. It becomes hard to reconcile that, yes, it happened to you, but that's not who you are. You find it hard to be anything other than the trauma, the bad stuff, the ugly stuff. But you are not what happened to you. Yes, it happened to you, but that is not who you are. Your name is not pain. It's not abuse. It's not neglect. It's not dirty. It's not whore. It's not bitch. It's not slut. It's not skank. It's not nobody. It's not worthless. It's not nasty, nor is it victim. You are not a loser. You are not dumb, and you are not stupid. When the tragedies and traumas of your past attempt to trespass and take over, I need for you all to stand up straight, put your shoulders back, hold your head up, and call yourself who you were created to be. And that is a child of God, fearfully and wonderfully made. The word of God tells us that what a man thinketh, so is he. Think better of yourself. And be bold in the assurance that you are not what happened to you. Stop apologizing for strength and stop being ashamed of surviving. You are here for a purpose. You count, you matter, and you are worthy of life, freedom, and safety. Go and be free. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for joining us for our first episode of Sister to Sister. It needed to be said. We will be back next month on the 4th Thursday. Thank you. Peace.